Hi, this is Gregory from photosincolor.com, and today we're going to be talking about the brand new iPhone 7 and iPhone 7 Plus cameras. Theme tune. Oh, I'm dizzy. I've got to go in reverse. Okay, so I am coming at you today from Las Vegas in my brand new 4,500 square foot studio space. More to come about that in the future. But today we're going to be talking about the brand new, just released iPhone 7 and iPhone 7 Plus cameras. Now, Apple have just released the brand new iPhone, and there's going to be loads of conversation about that. This is a photography channel, so we're just going to be talking about the cameras, and I'm going to be talking all about that. So if you want to bash iPhone or you want to celebrate some other phone, you can do it in the comments below, but I'm going to be talking only about the camera. And I might check some notes just that I get everything right. So first of all, I am super psyched about the brand new iPhone camera. Genuinely, I think iPhone does make amazing cameras in their phones. Now, I'm a photographer, I shoot Nikon, and I love shooting with my DSLR. This is never going to replace my DSLR. However, do I use it to take photos? Yes. Do I often pull it out of my pocket to take great panoramas? Yes, and I take some great photos with this. Not professionally, but just because I'm a photographer, I like all my photos to look great. And honestly, the iPhone is amazing. This is the 6S Plus, and this camera is absolutely incredible on this thing. So let's jump in and talk about the brand new cameras. So there's two versions, the 7 and the 7 Plus. Now, quickly, the 7 has one camera on the back, looks just like this, and the 7 Plus actually has two, and we're going to get to that in a minute. But I want to say this, I think Apple have actually done something incredible with this camera, and I'll get to that in just a moment. So let's talk about some of the features at first. It's a 12 megapixel camera, which is loads for a phone. I don't see any reason for there to be more than that in a phone. So that's great. It's an f1.8 lens. So what that means is basically that's not going to be a shallow depth of field, it's just going to be a super wide aperture, which means it can let in way more light. So for dark places or low light photography, this camera is going to be fantastic. What they've also done is they've updated the flash. You know, they've got this dual flash, I think it's called, where basically there's an orange and a white, and then it balances it for the light that you're in. So that's kind of amazing. What they've done now is they've added 4 of those. So now there's 4 LED flashes, so it's twice as bright essentially. This feature, I'm not sure that I love it because I hate the flash on my phone anyway. Does it actually make with this duotone thing, the flash is okay on the iPhone, but it's still right next to the lens. They need to put it at the opposite end of the camera, which would give it some extra little features, I think. So anyway, that's really great. The lens is a 6-element lens, which means that it goes through all this processing and it can be amazing. So basically the camera, oh, and it's also image stabilized now. So with the 6S Plus, there was an image stabilization inside the actual lens, so it kind of floated. That's now in the 7 and the Plus, the normal and the Plus, whatever. So that's a great add-on. Now to the most important features, and this is amazing. First of all, it now shoots raw DNG files, which for a phone is incredible. Now I know you've been able to do that on Samsung, I think, for a while, which is awesome. Now you can do it on your Apple phones. Well, will be able to. So what does that mean? When you're editing in Photoshop and Lightroom, you have way more dynamic range to play with to actually edit these photographs, which really is something incredible. And my guess is as well, there's going to be apps out there which are going to allow you to edit the raw file on your phone, which again is going to kind of change a lot of things. So if you are a professional photographer, having raw files is key to your success, so you know that. So having this new DNG raw file is a fantastic advantage. Now, this is where I want to jump into the next thing, because this is amazing. The 7 Plus has 2 megapixel cameras. Now, this isn't to do 3D filming. That kind of, I don't think anybody's ever going to get into that on the phones. They tried it with some, I think, ages ago. I don't think they're going to use this. This is where it's clever. In each of these two lenses, two cameras on the back, there's a different lens. One is the wide angle lens and one is a telephoto lens. So it's kind of like a zoom lens. Now, they haven't actually released what the equivalents are to these zooms if it was on a 35mm full frame camera, so I don't know. But basically, you can go, oh, I want to shoot this wide, and it uses one camera. But if you want to get in close, you can just choose to shoot with the other camera, which is amazing. Now, what they've also said is because of this, the digital zoom is now 10 times better or something like that. So basically, you're zooming in twice as far when you use a telephoto. Then when you use digital zoom, you can go up to 10 times digital zoom, and the processing is going to be amazing. Personally, I never use digital zoom, so I don't know. But the feature of being able to get in closer using a 12 megapixel sensor and actually having no digital zoom is incredible. Now, apparently what you can also do is shoot both images at the same time, I think. So basically you shoot the wide, but then when you zoom into the telephoto, you've got that quality in the middle of it. I don't know if I got that right or wrong. Put that in the comments below if I did or not. But essentially it gives you two separate lenses. And amazingly, I'm not sure how they've done it, but they've been able to completely match it so that they line up with each other so that you can shoot both of them at the same time, I think, which is amazing. And this brings me on to the next feature. So let me just quickly look at this. So they've got these two different cameras on the back here, telephoto and wide. But, and we all know this, I said before it's got an f1.8 lens. So you might think, oh, that's going to give you some nice bokeh, which basically means the shallow depth of field blur. So the reason I'm shooting in front of this window so that you can see it, I'm going to be nice and sharp, but behind me, this is going to be completely blurry. This is actually the Palms hotel behind me. The strip is just here. But this is going to be all blurry, and I can do that because I'm shooting on a 85mm 1.8 DSLR camera with that lens on it. You can't do that with a wide angle lens, which is what comes on one of these. So it might be f1.8, but you're still not really going to get that background blur unless you're really close to something and like doing a macro shot. But apart from that, you're not going to get it. So this is where they tried to make this a game changer, and I want to test it to see. But knowing Apple, as they seem to always manage to be able to deliver fairly well on what they've said, is now what they're going to do is take two photos. The wide angle lens is going to take the background photo and it's going to kind of add a blur to it. And then the telephoto is what is going to take of the person, and it's going to keep that sharp. So it's going to analyze the image in real time, and then it's going to go, oh, this is a person, and then this is the background, blur this, keep this sharp. And the way it does this is using these two lenses. Now, I don't want to get too complicated around that because that's basically how they explained it. But this is what's kind of magical. It does it in real time. So you can be looking at your phone, looking at it, and in real time you can see the sharp at the front and the blur in the background. So it's going to basically create a tone map of everything. And then when you take the photograph, it's going to process this, and they say it does 1 billion processes in a 25 milliseconds or something, whatever that number is. But basically it means that it's going to do it in real time. So you can see this background blur before you take the photo, which even my Nikon camera can't even do that, which is kind of amazing. So well done, Apple. Now, I don't know how well it's going to work, and I don't know if it's going to work for video. My guess is it is not going to work for video, but if they're able to do a live preview, then my thoughts is why not? So anyway, we'll get into that. And that's going to be a new, so when you scroll through, you've got pano, you've got square, you've got photo, video, slow-mo. It will also have portrait, and that's going to be portrait mode because it uses people's faces to be able to detect the sharp and not sharp. Anyway, so that's what it is. Now let's get into my thoughts for it. Is it a game changer? No, it's never going to replace my DSLR camera. Is it probably going to make my phone photography better? Yes, I think it's going to make it a lot better. Does that matter? that's completely up to you. You know, some of these things are a bit gimmicky. I mean, you're taking a picture on your phone, it only needs to be so good. But saying that, I've started using these photographs for all sorts of different reasons on this iPhone. The new one is going to be even better. So if you're running a business, all of a sudden with this, right now people are starting to use them as kind of like behind the scenes photos and things like that. Well, that's just going to get even better. And when it comes out and I can actually get my hands on one, I'm going to test it and do some shoots with it. I'm going to actually put it through a professional kind of run and see if I can take professional headshots with it. Obviously, I would never do it, but I'm going to do a little test of it. Anyway, tell me what your thoughts are. Is this really a game changer? Do these new things actually mean anything? I personally think the upgrade to the iPhone 7 and 7 Plus especially, those cameras are incredible, and I'm really excited to see how this, what's it called, portrait mode and live depth of field feature, how that really works, and see if I can get this sharp and blurry background for the first time on an iPhone. And let me know if you have any photographs that you've taken on another brand of phone that already does this. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Remember to subscribe to this channel, give me a thumbs up, and leave a comment. What do you think about the new iPhone and the new iPhone camera? Are you going to get it? Are you going to use it? Are you not going to? Anyway, thank you so much for watching. That was a lot of talking. This was Ed Gregory for photosincolor.com. Theme tune. Point.